Hello, my name's Jackie Graham Acupuncture, and when people first meet me and find out that I'm an acupuncturist, I invariably get asked, what made you decide to become an acupuncturist? Well, my story goes back about 15 or 20 years ago. I was getting constant sinusitis. It gradually was the attacks were becoming closer together. It was getting worse. I was taking far too much over-the-counter medication, starting to feel really ill. And I started doing some research because I thought, well, there's got to be a better way of dealing with this. And acupuncture came up as a possible remedy. So I went to see an acupuncturist. I had about 3 or 4 treatments and the symptoms went completely. About 10 years later, they started to come back. I had one more treatment and they went again. Shortly after that first treatment, I then damaged one of my toes quite badly, and the pain was quite bad. And eventually I went back to the acupuncturist. Again, she did acupuncture and she did moxa on my toe. And although my toe will never be 100% again, it is considerably better and I'm mostly pain-free. And then about 7 or 8 years ago, I started to feel really quite under the weather, quite low, headachy, very, very tired. And again, I turned to acupuncture and I told my symptoms to the acupuncturist, and he said to me that unlike the previous 2 occasions, it would not be a quick fix. It would require a longer term effort to balance my body and get me back feeling well again. So I accepted that. And so I started having regular acupuncture. And when I first started going, I had a constant line of pain down my neck right down to my shoulder. I was always feeling niggly, it was always aching. That went after about 3 or 4 months treatment. And then as time went on, I'd always been one of these people, I thought, oh, my stomach wasn't very strong. I hadn't realised quite how bad my digestion was until it started to get better. And I hadn't realised quite how weak I was, particularly my arms and my legs, even though I always exercised, until it started to improve. And I think that's the same with a lot of us. A lot of us say, oh yeah, no, my stomach's always a bit bad. Oh, I'm a headachy person. A lot of women say I always get a bit bad-tempered before my period, I always get period pains. And we think that's who we are. But my experience with acupuncture is, well, that doesn't have to be who you are. I think that alternative therapies generally, whether it's acupuncture, homeopathy, essential oils, whatever you choose, can make a big difference to your health. I know it can be difficult for a lot of people financially to make a long-term commitment. I understand that. And it also can be quite difficult time and effort-wise. But I think if you are prepared to make the time and the effort with alternative therapy, once you've found the one for you, it can make a massive difference to your health. So a few years ago, my kids were growing up. I was thinking, right, what am I going to do next? And so my experience with acupuncture sort of led me down that path. It hove into view and I thought I knew it worked. And so that's why I decided to become an acupuncturist. Thank you.